Hello, Geneva, and welcome to Officially Speaking. I'm your host, Kevin Starr. Each month, we sit down with one of our local elected officials to find out what's going on at City Council. Today, we're joined by 4th Ward Alderman Ron Singer. Ron, thanks for being here today.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, great. Well, why don't we start off the show by telling our viewers a little bit about yourself and how long you've lived in Geneva?
Well, let's see. I've been here a little over 22 years now, and I've been the 4th Ward Alderman for 18 years, and I had previously lived in Hillside, Illinois, and I taught U.S. history at Proviso West High School for 34 years. I have 4 darling children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and their ages range somewhere from about maybe 49 to 55. I've been married 56 years, which is remarkable. You know. I have 3 darling granddaughters, and their ages range from 15 to 20.
Very good. Well, you've obviously been on Geneva City Council for quite a long time. How do you feel that the community has grown and changed throughout your tenure?
Goodness gracious, there's really been some tremendous things that have gone on in our community in the last couple decades, and some of the things that I found to be extremely, in a sense, outstanding is the development of the Geneva Commons. And I'm not sure if people are aware that that particular product generates close to 28% of the city's sales tax. And then, of course, Dotson Place was very exciting. And then, of course, as well, the areas that was redeveloped at the 3rd Street, which, of course, was very prominent, and the expansion of the streetscape, and the areas in which the brickworks, and it's just really a fine product. That too has been very beneficial. One can see that the downtown area generates very close to 25% of our city sales tax. I think one of the other things that's rather outstanding that the public is becoming very much aware of, and I think they're very happy that it's going to be finally coming to its termination, is the additional deck that's being put on our parking area. And that in itself is going to generate additional areas in which people can find themselves coming into our community, where they can find areas in which they could park. That is very significant as well, because again, it's an area in which sales hopefully will be increased, sales tax will be increased, and generating more revenue for our community.
One of the items that's on the docket for City Council is, or will be coming towards City Council in the near future, is the road diet, which is the proposal to narrow Route 31 from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes. Obviously, this issue is going to have some public hearings in the coming weeks, but what is your stance on this proposal?
Well, I'm very comfortable with the concept. I don't believe that road really is safe with being 4 lanes as it is. I think the shrinking of the road as such, and then I think what was going to be exciting for a great number of people who are bike riders in our community is the means of having bike lanes as well along the streetscape. I think in the long run, I feel it's really a safety issue here that has to be considered, and that's my position.
Last year, Geneva experienced one of its worst winters on record. This year, it seems to be trending a little bit more towards average for our area. I'm assuming that's a good thing for our budget, correct?
Yes. I don't know if the public is aware that last year's budget for both salt and plowing exceeded $300,000. And the sad part about it is that what was so interesting and somewhat difficult, and why the costs were so much prohibitive, I would say, is that it seemed like every time we had a heavy snow of any sort, it was always seemed to be on the weekends. And of course, then when we get the crews out to take care of plowing and salting, there's an additional cost where we're talking about time and a half and double time for the public works people who are doing that plowing and salting. So I feel that this is, we're very fortunate that we haven't had, at this point in time, an extremely severe winter.
Speaking of budgets, the city is already starting to plan its 2015-16 fiscal year budget. When you look at budget planning, from the review process on to ultimately approval, what areas are important to you?
Public safety is a very concern to me. Any way in which we can provide assistance and direction for improving our police departments, our fire departments, I think those are essential. I also consider the costs, of course, of maintenance, and I appreciate very much the way in which the city directs its funding for the improvement of our streetscapes. You know, anything in the sense that what I feel comfortable with which in any way would, in a sense, improve or enhance the quality of life in our city.
Another issue that is really in the early stages at this point, but eventually will come to City Council, is the Historic Preservation Ordinance review. And that's being done by our staff currently, but will be playing out over the course of the next several months. How do you see this ultimately shaping out when it arrives to City Council?
That issue is somewhat contentious. I think we're all aware of that. My concerns are that I prefer really to take a wait and see approach on this, truly. There's going to be some public hearings taking place in the next months or so. And I would like to wait and see what and how the responses are from the citizens of our community. And from there, hopefully I will take an educated decision and make a decision at that point in time.
We've talked about a few issues that are being addressed by the City Council, but what are some other topics that you feel might be important to our viewers to know that might be decided by our City Council either in the near future or maybe down the road?
Well, there's going to be a lot of exciting things going on in the next 6 months or less. Particularly the one I'm interested in is eventually, of course, is the demolition of the Citron building and those two other buildings along Richards. And of course, it is there that the Marquette company is going to consider the development of mixed use. And then, of course, there's the Park Place issue, which is over at being developed at Stevens and off of Route 31. There are going to be row houses developed at that product. I feel comfortable with that sense of what is happening as far as their development, because whenever we have the means of being able to provide a stronger property tax base, as well as the enhancement of increasing the population of our community, which in turn will hopefully begin to filter into the means of people purchasing, being involved in the areas of purchasing products as such and enhancing our sales tax. These are things that excite me, and I feel comfortable with those kinds of directions. The other thing, as I had mentioned too, I think is of course the development of our new third deck at the parking areas, and that too can enhance the economy of our community as well. One of the other things that was exciting to me was the Pure Oil building, which I think is just, everybody is just really excited about that. It was just a marvel at the way in which that was done. And I think probably with the gentleman I feel that we should recognize for the direction that was taken there is Mr. Stanton. He's been really a forerunner in our community and very important to what's been going on and the development of many of the products that he himself has developed within the community itself.
So those that may know you in the community are not surprised that you're a huge golf fan. However, it's a little bit too early to tee off for the first time this season. how do you spend your winter months in Geneva?
Well, listen, the standard of my life doesn't change that dramatically from one season to the next. I'll say one thing, though. If I'm not on the golf course, I'm usually at the gym. And I'm there at least 6 days a week. And it's very enjoyable for me. I see a great number of people that I associate with, and a number of them are my constituency, which is always delightful. I find myself engaging in whatever the community has to offer. Christmas holidays are just magnificent here in the city of Geneva. The decorations are just outstanding. The tree lighting ceremony is just special. And it's just always a delight. And I find myself, of course, still engaging in many of the restaurants in the community and spending time, of course, with my darling wife and just enjoying myself, which is something I try to do almost any season of the year.
That is all the time we have for Officially Speaking today. We'd like to thank Alderman Singer for his time and insight on the City Council.
Well, thank you so much. It was enjoyable, and I do hope that the public is made aware of what the responsibilities are of their elected public officials. One of the things I've always been very grateful for is the manner in which the public in this community is served. It's just outstanding, and it's something which is very special and remarkable. And many people enjoy living in this community, I think, reasonably because of the structure of our government, which I think is just very, very well done. So, enjoyed. Thank you.
Not a problem. We couldn't agree more. Well, we also thank you for watching. We hope you keep tuning in again next month to get the official word from your elected officials.